Who is the real king of Formula One racing? Get ready to be shocked because this answer might make you and your friends fight. Some people say Lewis Hamilton is the best because he has won more trophies than anyone else in the whole world. Other people scream that Michael Schumacher is the true champion because he was like a super fit robot who never gave up. But wait, do not decide yet. There is an old legend named Juan Manuel Fangio who won almost half of all the races he ever drove, and there is a fearless racer named Ayrton Senna who could drive faster in the rain than fish can swim. And do not forget Max Verstappen, the young bully on the track who beats everyone like it is a video game. This list is not just random names, no sir. We searched the whole web, read a million opinions, and collected all the data to give you the top 10 F1 champions of all time as of April 2026. You will be surprised who is number 1, and you will be angry if your favorite is too low. On number 10 is Niki Lauda had one of the best comeback stories in sports history. In 1976, his Ferrari car crashed and a huge fire broke out. Niki remained trapped in the car for a long time. Niki's face was burnt due to the fire, and his lungs were also injured due to the poisonous gases of the fire. Niki was almost dead, and the doctors had the final rights to his life, but after 6 weeks with a bloodied helmet and bandages on his face, Niki raced and finished 4th. This was very tough compared to any movie. Later, he won 2 more titles in 1997 and 1994, one with Ferrari and one with McLaren, and he won 3 titles in total. Niki was not an idle driver. He was a technical and cold-minded person who always thought about the setup of his car. Later, he also became the smart boss of Mercedes and made Mercedes win many races. Niki Lauda proved that with brain and courage, even fire and death can be defeated. At number 9, Jackie Stewart. Jackie was a very fast driver, but there was one more important thing that Jackie accomplished and made racing safe. In the 1960s and 1970s, many drivers died and nobody cared. Jackie once crashed during a race and petrol leaked and fell on him. At that moment, Jackie thought that he would ruin things. He advocated for safer tracks with barriers, seatbelts, good helmets, runoff areas, and doctors in every race. Because of Jackie, many drivers are alive today. Jackie also won 3 championships. The first in 1969 won with a Mammoth International. Second one in 1971 with Tyrrell Ford, and third one also with Tyrrell Ford and retired immediately. And if you look at it, then Tyrrell was not a good team, but his brother Jackie won 2 world championships with that team. He was called the Flying Scot, and he was very smart and smooth. Jackie won a total of 27 races, but still he remained on top because he saw many of his friends getting killed. If you think about winning or saving lives, then Jackie was a true hero. Sebastian Vettel is on number 8. He was the king of his time. He won 4 championships in the same time with Red Bull from 2010 to 2013, which was a very difficult thing to do. In qualifying, Vettel was very fast and very smart how the car works. He would talk to his engineers like a mechanic and tell them exactly what they needed. For a few years, nobody could beat him, and he would do a funny finger waggle after winning. Alternatively, he joined Ferrari but couldn't win another title. And some people started saying that while his car is not the best, Vettel is not the best either. But he still won 53 races and was the 3rd most successful winner in history. Vettel also became a nice older brother in F1, caring about the environment and human rights. He is not the GOAT for most people, but 4 titles in a row is something only a few legends have done. At number 7, Jim Clark. If you ask old drivers of the 1960s, they would say that Clark was the best natural driver of all. Jim Clark was from Scotland who could drive anything. Formula 1, IndyCar, NASCAR, even tractor. He could drive the best of anything. His car control was amazing. Meaning, if his car broke or slipped, he could catch a cat's tail. In 1963, he won 7 out of 10 races, which was insane. But his car was very unreliable, so they broke down a lot. If not for bad luck, he was also very shy and kind, not a show-off. His peers, meaning other drivers, all said he was the smoothest and fastest. Jim Clark only won 2 championships, one in 1963 and one in 1965, and he was driving from Lotus, becoming the first driver to win the championship and the Indianapolis 500 in the same year. He was a dominant force, securing 25 Grand Prix wins out of 72 starts during his career. Jim Clark might have won 5 titles. Sadly, he died in a small racing crash in 1968. Even today, when drivers like Max Verstappen are asked who is the best ever, many say Jim Clark. That is respect from the pros. Next one is at number 6, Alain Prost. His is also known by his nickname Professor, because he was very smart like a scientist behind the wheel. Prost was a strategy master who knows that when to push and when to relax. He fought some biggest battles in racing history, especially against Senna, and they hated each other, but Prost ended up with more points and more wins. He was so smooth that people called him boring, but boring winners are still winners. If you ever get into a debate, remember that Prost beat his teammates more than often than not. Prost won 4 championships and 51 races by thinking carefully, not by being the fastest, and also from 3 different teams. His first title won was in 1985 with McLaren. Second championship was won in 1986, and this was also with McLaren. Third was won in 1989, and this was also with McLaren. And he won his last title in 1993 with Williams. This was not the end. He also finished second in the championship in 1983, 1984, 1988, and 1990. Prost retired at the age of 38 after winning his last title in 1993 with Williams. At number 5 is the old 90s young driver Ayrton Senna, the most magical driver who ever lived. Senna was the master of qualifying, meaning he could drive one perfect lap faster than a rocket. He got 65 pole positions, which is incredible for his time. But his real talent was driving in the rain, where he saw things that the other drivers did not. In 1984 Monaco Grand Prix, he drove from last to second in terrible car, and people's jaws dropped. Senna had a spiritual way of driving, saying he felt God was with him in the car. Senna won 3 championships, which is not HT most, but his speed was from another planet. His first title was in 1988, and second was in 1990, and third was in 1991. All these titles was won with McLaren Honda. Sadly, he died in a crash in 1994 at the San Marino Grand Prix, and the whole world cried. Even today, many drivers say Senna had the highest peak talent ever. He was not the luckiest or the smartest with cars, but he was the rawest and the fastest. If pure talent is your thing, Senna is your GOAT. At number 4 is another youngest driver in nowadays Max Verstappen. He is the bully on the block who is also super talented. Max is known for his relentlessly fast and extremely consistent, which means he almost never makes dumb mistakes or crashes. Max set a record in 2023 that no one can break. He won 19 races in a single season. This is almost all of them. Max started his racing career at the age of 17, almost as a junior-age student in high school, and won his first race right away. Max drives in his own style, which is very aggressive, pushing other cars to the edge and sometimes over it. Some people call him dirty, but for the fans, he is a winner. Max grew up with his racing dad, who was very tough on Max. Max did not cry and did not complain, and enters all of his stress with a win. Verstappen won 4 consecutive titles from 2021 to 2024. He is the youngest driver to reach 4 titles, 27 years, 1 month, beating Sebastian Vettel's previous record. Among those with 4 or more titles, Verstappen has the highest win percentage, 59% during his championship-winning seasons. Despite a competitive season, he secured his last tilt in 2024 in Las Vegas. Max is still young, so he probably gets more titles in his bag. At number 3, Juan Manuel Fangio, a driver who made his career debut at the age of 39. Juan Manuel Fangio raced way back in the 1950s when cars did not have seatbelts and tracks were just dangerous roads. This man from Argentina won 5 championships in only 8 years, which is crazy fast. His first championship was in 1951 with Alfa Romeo, second was in 1954 with Maserati, third was in 1955 with Mercedes, fourth was in 1956 with Ferrari, his fifth and last was in 1957 with Maserati. But here is the most amazing number: Fangio won 47% of all the races he started. Recorded 24 wins from only 51 race starts, winning nearly half of all his races. He is the only driver to win championships with 4 different constructors. That means almost every other time he got in a car, he won 4 different teams and 5 championships. Switching schools every year and still being the smartest kid. Fangio was not a young hotshot either. He started racing when he was already 39 years old, which is old for a grandpa, let alone a race car driver. He was calm, smooth, and made no mistakes. Even Lewis Hamilton says Fangio is the most efficient champion ever. If you want pure numbers without any excuses, Fangio is your guy. At number 2, Michael Schumacher. This man took Ferrari to great heights. Michael Schumacher was first modern superhero racer. No driver was as fit as him. Michael worked out like a soldier and changed the game forever. Michael Schumacher was famous because he never gave up. He kept trying until he had no other option to compete. Whether his car was broken or it was raining, he would push and push until the checkered flag. Michael was also a great team leader. He gives tips to his mechanics how to make the car run even better. And if there was a problem with the car, he would point out the exact spot which is faulty. Some people believe that Michael plays dirty tricks like parking his car and blocking others' cars, but his fans said he was a fierce winner. Michael won a total of 7 championships, mostly with Ferrari. His first 2 championships were won in 1994 and 1995 with Benetton. While with Ferrari, Michael won 5 championships in a streak from 2000 to 2004, 5 championships in the beginning and first 5 years of the 20s. At that time, Michael was known for his dominance with Ferrari. Michael won a total of 91 races in his racing career and achieved 155 podiums in a total of 308 race entries. Later in 2013, Michael suffered a skin injury in his brain and has been out in public life. Even after a terrible skiing accident hurt his brain, the whole world still calls him a legend. If you want to see a driver who gave 110% every single Sunday, Michael is your hero. Lewis Hamilton is on number 1. It is impossible for a company that manufactures engines for F1 cars and their drivers not to be on this list. I am talking about Lewis Hamilton. Lewis is on the top of the list because he is like the smartest kid in class who also happens to be the fastest runner. As of May 2026, he holds the most records ever, including over 105 race wins and more than 104 pole positions, which means he starts in front more than anyone else in history. Lewis did not just get lucky one time. No, he has been winning for a very long time, showing incredible consistency and never getting tired. He drives with a smooth style that saves his tires and his energy, and he has beaten some of the toughest rivals like Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen. Some people say he had the best car, but you still have to drive it, right? Lewis also fights for fairness and kindness in the world, wearing rainbow helmets and kneeling before races to help stop bullying. Lewis has won 7 titles in his racing career, and trying for the 8th one to set the non-breakable record in Formula 1 history. Lewis won his first championship in 2008 with McLaren, and the remaining 6 was in 2014, 2015, 2017, 2018, and 2020, and all of them was with Mercedes. His 7 championships are tied with Michael Schumacher, but Lewis has more total wins, which makes statisticians call him the greatest. Love him or hate him, you cannot ignore his shiny trophies and his giant smile. After all of that, who is the real greatest of all time? Well, the truth is that it depends on what you like the best. If you love the huge number, then Hamilton. Or if you love the old school, then Juan Manuel Fangio is unbeatable. And if you love the future, then keep an eye on Max Verstappen, because that young boy didn't end it yet. The debate will never end, and that is what makes Formula 1 so much fun and exciting. You can argue with your dad, your teacher, or your best friend, and nobody is completely wrong. So pick your favorite champion, wear his hat, and cheer loudly. Just remember, every single driver on this list is a superhero who risked everything to go faster than anyone else. Now go race your bike and pretend you are Senna in the rain.